Hello, hello. We'll wait another minute or two to see if anybody else signs on. I know I heard from some folks that they have practice now, but I will send out the recording after it processes. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. If anyone else joins us, that's great. If not, that's also okay. So what we are going to do today is just go over the syllabus for the class. You know what it would look like. Go over the stuff I sent out in the email, and then answer any questions that y'all have. So you all both know me, but just in case anyone's watching this video who doesn't, hello, I'm Dr. Myers, and I teach the Internship and Psych course every spring. And so this is last year's syllabus. It's not updated with the spring 2023 dates, but you'll get the gist of things. So really, your course purpose and objectives are to get real world experience. So apply material that you've been learning all these years in a real world setting. You'll react to that experience in written and oral formats. And then in class, we'll learn about professional things. And we're going to get a little cameo from my cat Simba here. So he'll have his little noggin in there. And so it's just, you go to your internship, you do what they want you to do, basically. And then in class, we talk about things like HIPAA and FERPA and all that good stuff. We talk about disorders you might be on. We talk about all manner of things that are relevant for what's going on for y'all. And these are all the good things that y'all are used to. The big, consistent thing you do throughout the semester are weekly reflection papers on your experiences. And what you're going to talk about is, what did you already know that you brought to your internship that week? What did you want to know? What do you want to learn about? What do you want to learn more about? And then what did you learn that particular week? What did you learn from your internship? So pretty straightforward, nice way to reflect on things. So, and then you will lead a little portion of the class in the second half of the semester where you bring in an article related to your internship and we talk about it. And then the end of semester assignments are a big paper. People see 10 to 15 pages and they freak out. Don't. It is actually pretty darn easy because a lot of it is just putting together these reflections you've been writing all semester. So pretty easy to do. And then you do a presentation based on your experiences. You get evaluated by your supervisor, you self-evaluate, and you get points just for logging your own. So we only meet once a week. The rest of the time, you can use the time we don't meet. So this class in spring is going to be a Tuesday, Thursday. So on Thursdays, you can use that time to go to your internship or to get other work done for other classes, whatever you need to be doing. So we meet once a week, check in, talk about the topics we're discussing that week, and then at the end of the semester, we do the presentations. So this I already sent out, but just wanted to show you all that if you haven't gotten a chance to click on it yet, we do an application process for this course just because I'm sending you out to professional sites. So I just need to make sure sort of like boxes are checked and I'm not sending anyone who has like antisocial personality traits out. Haven't ever run into that yet. But we sort of try to cover our bases here. So you just talk about when you're graduating, you list all your psych courses with your grades for them. You find your cumulative and psych GPA and web advisor and your program eval. And then I want you to just give me the names of 2 faculty members who will be informal references. You should let them know. I'll be contacting them. Typically, I just shoot them an email. They do not have to write you a letter. It's just literally a, what's your impression of this person? Are there any red flags I should know about? For that reason, I can't be one of the 2 people just because I already know what I think about the people that I've had in class before. Right. So I'm interested in what other people may have observed that I haven't. And then you're going to list at least 3 sites you're interested in. And we'll go over the sites in a minute and how you can extend from those as well. And then you just digitally sign so that I can go on WebAdvisor and double check your GPA. Alrighty, so you'll see if you've looked at this list that I sort of have 2 levels right now. One is the sites who have said, yes, for sure, we have at least 1 spot. Some have said we'll take multiple spots for this coming spring. And then I have some sites that are like still not sure, or I'm waiting to hear back from them. So Chesapeake Bay Academy, very cool site. One of our students 5 years ago almost said she wanted to be the school psychologist or something along those lines. And so I knew someone who worked with, but not at Chesapeake Bay Academy. So she got me in contact with them. Now they consistently take usually 2 folks for us every spring. And I'm actually on an advisory board for a research initiative they have too. So we have a great relationship between them and the psychology department. So if you're not familiar with Chesapeake Bay Academy, they are entirely for students with learning differences. So kids there have ADHD, learning disabilities. A lot of them are on the autism spectrum, things along those lines. And we think there might also be, if not a full-time opportunity doing research through our initiative, at least the opportunity to participate in some research that way. And it's CERTI, the Center for Educational Research and Technological Innovation. So if you're interested in maybe doing a PhD in the future or research-based master's, that might be a really nice opportunity there. Eggleston is a brand new internship this year that I'm really excited about. So you'd be working in case management, which is something often people who go into social work do. And you will be working with people who have disabilities because of brain injuries. So a really cool opportunity that we haven't had before that I'm really excited about for y'all. If you're interested and you think you might want to go into private practice, in-face psychological services, Dr. Plemmer is a great resource. She often has folks help her with assessments and writing them up and analyzing them. So this is a really nice opportunity to get a feel for that. Also, if anyone's interested in starting to work with her this semester, she's open to someone coming on this semester to work with her. Our Lady of Perpetual Help has been a very consistent site that I've worked with. In fact, I think the only time I haven't had someone there was during the pandemic. So they are a nonprofit assisted living and nursing home community. And a lot of times our interns end up working on the Christopher Center unit, which is Alzheimer's and dementia patients. So folks here often end up being support. You go and you chat with people you're assigned to give them emotional support. And in the past, just based on the interns' interest and what they needed, our interns have helped with things like art therapy as well. So very cool things there. The Tidewater Youth Services Commission, which is mostly in Virginia Beach. I think they're out near Lynn Haven Mall. They are a great site for if you're interested in working with kids and or sort of figuring out some of the logistics of working in how does the legal system work? How does, placement of folks work, things along those lines. We have had a couple interns there, actually. Lola Tyler, who some of you may know, interned there last year and now works there. And she's the one who reached out to me this year to ask about interns. So I thought that was really cool. And then another really consistent one I've had is Western Tidewater Community Services Board. This one is a hike, it's out in Suffolk, but the students that have gone there have really enjoyed and benefited from their experiences. So they have served in a variety of settings there, including day support programs or working at more like a community center for higher functioning people. So again, a really great opportunity, especially if you're thinking you want to work with folks who have like developmental delays or severe mental illness. So here's the ones that I might have. I haven't heard back from them. Samaritan House. We did have Sasha Bolden here last year. And there's a whole host of people, positions you can work in. So that is something that if you're interested in working in a domestic violence shelter, this is definitely a situation. I know Sasha worked as a children's case management intern, so she worked a lot with the kiddos and she really enjoyed that. Have not heard back from my folks at CHKD. I might try to call them to see what's up. In the past, we've actually had folks go over there and help them with their research, which has been really cool. And if you're not familiar, CHKD is in the middle of building a giant mental health facility. So I'd really like to enhance those connections. There's also, we've had folks do CASA in the past. So that's a court appointed special advocate for kids. And this is, you're assigned to a kid who's going through the court system for a whole host of reasons. Maybe they're in the midst of a custody battle. Maybe it is some sort of criminal case with their parents, something along those lines. And you are there to advocate for the child and support the child. You do have to be 21 when you apply. That's handed down from the state, I believe the state Supreme Court of Virginia. So they cannot fudge that. We've had a trouble with that in the past. And there is a giant training you have to do, but those hours count towards your internship hours. I'm not sure of any training you would have to do at any of your sites. Those would count there. If anyone is really interested in sort of the legal system, we have in the past had folks over in Hampton at the Center for Child and Family Services Behavioral Health Department doing things like one worked with prisoners and those just out of prison, another worked on supervised visitations. So this is certainly something that if folks are interested in psych and the law, I'm glad to reach back out to them. And then Westminster Canterbury, if you're particularly interested in hospice, which if you're not familiar is for people who are choosing to no longer engage in treatments that would prevent their death. And so you might interact with patients who are actively dying. So for some, that's really difficult. For others, if they're sort of thinking they're going to work in geriatrics, that's a really nice match. And again, you are not limited to what's here. If you know of an organization you'd like to maybe try to connect with, we can do that. Or if you're just like, this is the type of place I would like to be at, we certainly can put our heads together, lean on Alice Jones over in Career Services, see if she has anything, and set that up. And I'm always open to finding new sites. So wanted to open it up and see if y'all have any questions I can answer about the sites, the process for applying, the course itself, anything. And if you are in a situation where you can't unmute, you can feel free to throw them in the chat. Feel free to type them in the chat. And if I've just described everything brilliantly and you have no questions as a result, I mean, we can also finish whenever y'all are ready. This is for you. So while folks are thinking, oh, good, we have one. Do our recommendations have to come from BWU faculty? No, that's a really good question, Erin. So yeah, I've had a lot of like TCC transfers in the past. And if you just can get me an email for a faculty at your previous institution, I'm glad to get in contact with them. And they're actually usually thrilled to give a recommendation. So yeah, it can definitely be someone from your previous institution. And they don't have to be psych faculty. I've had people from bio, English, I mean, you name it. I've probably had the department on campus. And then also, it doesn't have to be a faculty member if you're struggling to find someone. So I've had people use like their coaches in the past. And that's been great because your coaches often know you better than just about anybody on this campus. So that's been really helpful. Other note is I made the applications due 2 weeks from today. The reason why I do this so early in the semester is that some of the sites do require a lot of like ramp up for things. So some of the sites will require you to like get up to date on vaccines you don't have, for example, or some will require you to do pre-service training or a TB test or things along those lines. And so if we can sort of connect you with folks, you know, usually I try to buy around the 1st of October, get you in with folks to interview. If that all goes well, then you can connect and do whatever orientation or pre-service activities you need to do in plenty of time to get started in January. So like in theory, the internship runs during spring semester, but I've certainly had people start in J-term. And I've certainly occasionally had people who have to finish the week or two after exams, and that's okay. Ooh, sports psychology. That's a really good question, Julia. None of these are really that sports psych oriented. Certainly I know sometimes at CBA, they work with the kiddos during gym class. But let me put my head on about that, see if I can think of anything in the area that might be good for that. Because I know a lot of people are interested in sports psych. So yeah, I will look into that and we'll see what we can find. And the application should probably take you 5 to 10 minutes to fill out. The hardest part will be finding the stuff you need to find on WebAdvisor. It's pretty low key. It's just basically to make sure you meet all the criteria. And again, I check with your people that you put down for recommendations just to make sure that I haven't missed giant red flags that would preclude you from going and working with potentially mentally vulnerable people. So I gotta do my due diligence. Like I said, I've never had a problem yet, but it helps us to check those boxes, and it's great for me to say to your potential internship supervisors, hey, you know, I have vetted this person already. So. Welcome. So yeah, we're just doing Q&A now. So if you have any questions about it, the class, everything else, let me know. And you can feel free to type them in the chat if you don't want to say them out loud. And whenever we're done with questions, we can be done with the meeting.
How about you?
Sorry.
All right, well, I see a lot of you on campus already, but if you know you get done with this meeting, or as you fill out the application in the next couple of days, you have questions, you can certainly always touch base with me via email. I will throw my link for thing. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll reshare screen so that the folks who are watching this on playback can see it, and it's in my syllabus. So if you'd like to make a one-on-one meeting with me, I do those now via this link. It's calendly.com/Dr. Taryn Myers. So calendly.com/Dr. Taryn Myers. And that allows you to set up a Zoom or Hangouts meeting with me I've really moved all my office hours onto those just because it's so much easier for the students. And for me sometimes too, like I've had meetings where both my student and I are in the car, you know, and we're still able to meet, either though neither of us could actually get to campus that day for whatever reason. So, but you're also free to just email me questions too. I've already answered a couple for folks today. Alrighty, any other questions? Oh, looks like we got something else in the chat. Yeah, the video, what I'm going to do with the video is I'm going to get it processed as soon as we're done and then post it on YouTube and just send out the link to everybody so that anybody who is a junior or senior in psych, who are the people who are getting this, should be able to access it. If you all know of anyone who is a junior and senior in psych and they didn't get the emails for whatever reason, please forward it to them. Let me know so I can add them to future emails. We don't have a good way to just like pull those, so I kind of had to enter everything by hand to get everybody in there, and I don't think I missed anybody, but I want to make sure I didn't. Alrighty, well, I will let you all go because I know it's getting close to dinner time for some folks. For other folks, it might be nap time or free night class time. So thank you for coming. Please spread the word. I will take as many interns as are interested. I have had as many as 13 in the past. I've had as few as 5. So we'll make it work with whoever is interested, but I always love having more because you will get the experience out in the community. Alrighty, I'm going to stop the recording, but I'll hang around in case there's anything anyone didn't want to ask on the recording.